It's Tony Harvin. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to the conversation. There's live conversations with Tony Harvin. I gotta give my disclaimer at all times. I gotta give my disclaimer. I'm not a pastor. I'm not a preacher. I don't hold no office in the church. Don't put no titles on me or anything like that. You understand? I'm just a brother here. Just here having a conversation in general with the general public. Please excuse me if I step out a bit. I got a little bit of something in the oven, cooking. So if I step away from a bit, I'll be right back. So, I was watching this little documentary on Netflix. I didn't finish it. I think I'm on the last episode, if I'm not mistaken. And somebody had brought this to my attention the other day when they spoke about Malcolm X. I forgot the person who did. So it was a pretty interesting thing that the person who wrote the comment the other day in reference to there was a hit put out on Malcolm. And I've heard of situations like that. I've heard stories here, I heard stories there about Malcolm X and stuff like that. I mean, he was a cool dude. Of course, what some of the Nation of Islam teach, they got a little bit of truth. I mean, a lot of religions got, some truth, just a little bit, And, watching this little documentary series, it was very interesting. I don't know how many people watched the series upon, Who Killed Malcolm X on Netflix. What's up, AJ, Jerry, Rosto, Naomi Hope, Emmanuel, Katie Jones, Jennifer, and what up, Valerie? Good evening from Pennsylvania. This is my second time tuning in. Thank you, appreciate it, Sharon Addison. So I'm watching this Tim Walters. He said he watched it. I didn't finish it yet, but it was pretty interesting. It was pretty interesting to watch that series upon Malcolm X. It was interesting because they had some ties. They had some ties to New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, and he kind of tied it to this brother from this boxing gym, first class boxing gym and stuff like that. And it was just like, so amused and so amazed that, wow, I used to see this boxing club at the fights and stuff like that, and they did a lot of good stuff for the community. Him and his wife, William Bradley, who they say was the trigger man for Malcolm X and stuff like that. They really helped out the community of Newark, New Jersey. Jennifer. Yeah, absolutely. He's from New Jersey. So Newark, New Jersey is where they pointed back. I believe it was Mosque 25. I don't know the exact block it's from, but I do know and heard of first class boxing gym. I mean, like Cory Booker said, you can't believe accusations and stuff like that and things of that nature. So I came on here just to see what are the people's thoughts and what do they think in reference to if Malcolm was set up by the nation. Some people are saying the FBI. Even some in the Netflix documentary said, when they bombed his house, they were stating that Malcolm did it. So what they were stating that he was trying to do these things, I guess, to cause attention upon themselves. Some people say Elijah Muhammad did it, So I'm looking at these comments. I will read some of these comments. And JC1 in the comment section says Louis Farrakhan did it. And I seen the little snippet of Louis Farrakhan stating that how they deal with a traitor. If you're talking in reference to that video. And in a Netflix documentary, I did see Louis Farrakhan with Elijah Muhammad, after, I guess Malcolm left the nation. You know, so there was some speculations on that, Mr. JC1. All right. Harris. Harris says the same mother who killed both Kennedys, it was LBJ. Word up. Who is LBJ? Darren Harris. Who is LBJ? I don't know who that is. Katie Jones says a lot of people say the FBI set him up like they did Martin Luther King. Ronald Lundy. Love your show for sure. Good looking. I never heard of LBJ either. The only LBJ I know is LeBron James. and he wasn't even born back then. Tim Walters. I appreciate that you share First Church. Absolutely. Harris says they also got rid of Martin Luther King. Those dizzies are evil. Alright. V33 says, I'll be watching The Godfather of Harlem. They have Malcolm X, the nation, turn on him for speaking the truth. Watching a Netflix documentary, it looks and seems that Elijah Muhammad was a little bit like jealous that Malcolm was getting like the attention, you know. So that's how I kind of see it up just a little bit, you know, because everybody was liking Malcolm's approach and things like that. So what really triggered Elijah Muhammad is when Malcolm, you know, aired his dirty laundry, you know, when he was like, I guess in his upper age, and he had babies by like teenage girls, 16, 17, you know, 18 and things like that. So that's when it went haywire. You know what I mean? Elijah Muhammad got real upset. And it seems like some people, rather all of them, who was taking Elijah Muhammad's side, even to this day, even those Muslims in North New Jersey, they was justifying that, oh, it was alright for Elijah Muhammad. They was trying to use the Bible, you know, in reference to Elijah Muhammad sleeping with these young girls. You know, they called him like, I don't know, what they say Elijah Muhammad was. They say he was divine. You know, I felt that kind of weird. You know, and the guy who was doing the documentary, they was they was warning him not to talk about it, not to bring up that the information and things like that. They was telling the guy who was doing the Netflix series just to leave it alone. I know why, because it's dangerous to bring that stuff back up. And he was going out to North New Jersey hunting for this guy named William Bradley, you know, and it went all the way back to Shabazz High School in North New Jersey. I'm very familiar with that high school in North New Jersey because, you know, I used to deliver there, and I'm very familiar, you know, upon the area. You know, and I'm very familiar with the boxer gym that the guy had ran with his wife. You know, so it was some pretty interesting things. Absolutely. S. Kelly says, greetings everyone from Michigan. Fuller says, greetings, my young brother. Hope all is well. Keep up the good work. Thank you, David F. What's up? Naomi Hope says, Malcolm X feared the nation more than the man, if you feel me. I don't know about that. If Malcolm X feared the Nation of Islam, you know, I don't know about that. I don't know. That I can't really put a stamp on that, you know. Heavy Lifty says, honestly, I think both entities were involved. The government and the high-level criminals have always had strange relationships. Oh man. Tasha says, never heard of LBJ. You're talking about who killed Tupac. I forgot. I seen that. I think that was on like DJ Vlad. That answer of who killed Tupac. I forgot his name. Lefty says London Haynes Johnson. I don't remember that name, but I do remember the name of Brother Bangs. If you're talking about that, in the movie Malcolm X. I do remember that. Katie Jones says, it's the same thing that happened with Martin Luther King and the wiretaps. The president and the FBI know what happened. All right. Spirit says, good evening. My young brother, be careful what you watch on TVs these days. There's three sides to the story. Their side, and the truth. Yeah, man, I'm just analyzing. You know, I don't believe like the Netflix series like all the way through. In general, I'm not saying I believe that. It's just very interesting material. How this Netflix guy who was doing the research and stuff like that had these ties all the way back to Newark, New Jersey. You understand that? And it went back to a man by the name of William Bradley. He really did his homework and things of that nature. But they was telling him to leave it alone. Stop searching for information because it's dangerous. Basically, that's what they were saying when he was telling my man to leave it alone. You know, Emmanuel Rodriguez said he told on Elijah Muhammad. When that happened, it went all bad from there. Now that right there, I agree. When I see Malcolm spew Elijah Muhammad dirty laundry and stuff like that, it was like Elijah Muhammad and his son was like, it's on. It's game time now. You know? Oh, you talking about the 36th president? I don't remember hearing about that. Derek Davis says John Edgar Hoover had a hand in Malcolm and Martin's death. Understandable. Rodriguez says Malcolm went with truth. Katie Jones says there was a lot of sting operations going on during this time. So being that the Nation of Islam had it out for it already, it was the perfect, death, I guess. Murder. Corey Finnis says no different than Malachi Z. York or Yahweh Ben Yahweh. I've heard of those two. I've definitely heard of those two people. Lefty says funny thing is Dean Muhammad Elijah's son that was leading Orthodox black Muslims in America died and at 70 something married a 20-year-old woman. Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy. Bennett says the Vatican run things in the world, even got more power than UN. Just saying, love this channel, bro. The truth is awesome. Absolutely, thank you. Appreciate that. Greatly appreciate it, Alright. What up, guy named Otis? What's up? AJ. Is that AJ? You says, Tony, have you ever personally spoke to Pastor Jennings? Yes. Yes, I have. The most recent time I spoke with him was this past Sunday. This past Sunday, in which he mentioned in his broadcast this past Sunday in Greensboro, in the July convention, July event, me and C-Rock Smooth, Brother Dan Thompson, and one other minister, and Brother Jude Imperdito from the Philippines will be conducting interviews on people on camera. So if you want to be interviewed about your testimony, about the truth of God, plan for July. It will be me, C-Rock Smooth, Minister Dan Thompson, another Spanish speaking minister, and possibly Brother Jew and Perdito from the Philippines. They're trying to get him over here to the United States. If not, they will do it from the Philippines, digitally. So that's what's going to happen. You understand? So that was a good idea that Pastor Geno Jennings came to us about, and it was a wonderful idea. Very beautiful. I was like, wow, that's a good idea. I'm glad, and thanks be to God that He saw fit in me to conduct interviews for people, giving their testimonies in reference to how the truth of God changed them, how they come across the truth of God, however the format is going to be at the time. But that's just basically what it's going to be about, so mark your calendars for that. Corey Finney says, yeah, my cousin Pookie attended that school. Yeah, man, Shabazz High School. I mean, they said it was bad and stuff like that, but when I used to go there to do the deliveries, it was pretty cool. You know, it was pretty cool. Everybody was cool. The staff was cool and things like that. You know. So Jerry Murray says one of the men that shot, he got out of prison a couple of months ago. Interesting. Nikita Robinson, greetings for sure. Spears says Brother Malcolm X was sanctioned hit. I think you said that the other day. Spears, I think you said that the other day. I think that's what made me, go watch the documentary even more. I think that was the message you kind of stated too. You just stated right now, Brother Malcolm X, was a sanctioned hit for exposing the powers that be within the political branches of Congress, Senate. Ain't you never heard of demo KK rats and Republicans? You funny, man. You absolutely funny. Forever says, I heard this guy's name before for the first 5 minutes. When I went search about him, I found your live with a conscious. Wow, Nikita Robinson. All right. Katie Jones says, I'll come out eventually just like everything else does. I'm shocked no one wrote a book on all this. Wesley, you said, yes, sir, I'm the first to be interviewed. Well, there's going to be a lot of people there, man. There's going to be a lot of people. When I was there on Sunday, it was over 2,000 people there. So they're trying to knock out as many interviews in 1 hour. So that's going to be real, real hectic, But it's going to be a good hectic. Absolutely. So 33 says, the nation was jealous of Malcolm. Malcolm cared about the people, and he wasn't scared of the bigots back then. But the nation and Muhammad was scared of those bigots. V33 says, Bennett says, who marched in front with Martin Luther King in the March on Washington? Good question. Jennifer says, I think his discovery of different colored Muslims, including white Muslims, changed his way of thinking towards the nation. Not sure who killed him, though. What's up, Monica? What's up? Nicholas, Tony, I watched this movie, and afterwards, Geno Jennings started to come up on my phone. Now I went down to Philly and got baptized in water. Now, this past weekend, I was filled with the Holy Spirit. That's great, man. That's wonderful. I'm glad and thankful that Brother Nicholas got filled with the Holy Ghost. That's great and wonderful. NC says LBJ is Lyndon Baines Johnson, president after JFK was assassinated. JC1 says, when Malcolm X went to Mecca, he found out that the Muslims there was not the same racist Muslims as the Nation of Islam. Also, he aired out Elijah Muhammad's dirty laundry about the underage girls he was sleeping with, which Wallace M. told him. Wow. Vision Target Shoot. Vision Target Shoot says Farrakhan is suspect. And I heard that before in reference to Louis Farrakhan. I seen, some videos on YouTube about, Farrakhan stated how to deal with a traitor. Farrakhan was basically saying that if the nation want to deal with a traitor the way the nation wants to, then that's their business. That's what Farrakhan was saying. But I think then he later on apologized. So Jennifer says, when are you going to do the interviews for the youth convocation? Well, the youth convocation is in July, I believe mid-July. I don't know which day I got or which time is it going to be, but it will be like a commercial or something like that, or information, towards the coming of the event in July. Just stay tuned for sure. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people got some wonderful testimonies and things like that. And do remember, I do know the faces of haters. I do know. I do know that. So just be mindful. I do know, and I am aware of haters, you know, or people who just come with ignorant talk on the videos and stuff like that. Don't do it. You understand? We come to do things decent and in order and with respect. You understand? So JC1 says Wallace M is Elijah Muhammad's son. Jennifer. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Bennett says good research, very eye-opening, especially the process of becoming one demonic. Yeah, absolutely, man. So that Netflix series was on Malcolm, Who Killed Malcolm. It's very interesting. I'm going to finish it up later on, you know, to see what more information is up there. Heavy Lefty says Wallace ended up doing the same thing his father did. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. The Nation of Islam was all for Malcolm until he started to gain traction, as Katie Jones says. Yeah, I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. You know, everybody loved Malcolm. Everybody was starting to love Malcolm more than, I guess, Elijah Muhammad. Malcolm was getting a lot of attention in general. Spirit said YouTube, aka Screw to Purge, a lot of independent journalism, a lot of journalist video documentaries of Brother Malcolm X, Dr. King, JFK, RFK, and Brother Evans. I mean, I can agree and disagree to that. You know, I mean, certain things are allowed on YouTube or Daily Motion, Rumble.com, Facebook, WorldStar. You know, there's a lot of platforms, there's a lot of video social media platforms out there. You know, so I mean, they allow that stuff because it's interesting, and I get where you're coming from. You know what I mean? Should they allow certain things on YouTube and other social media platforms that's like false or misled? No, but you know what I mean? We don't know in general. Some people do know the truth deep down, just like in that Netflix documentary when they was telling my man, leave it alone. It had to be something that the nation in the deeper roots, they know something. They know something, and my man from the Netflix documentary was really digging deep, and he was getting really close. He was getting really close to really finding out the deeper information from William Bradley. But y'all saying somebody else ordered the hit. Naomi Hope says, I don't know who killed Malcolm X, but okay. Katie Jones says, what do you think about Stokely Carmichael? I don't know who that is. Never heard of him. Tim Walter says, that's like the news, Tony. Absolutely. You're right. Absolutely at Tim Walters. I'm also going to agree with Cory Booker on that Netflix documentary. He stated that, you know, a lot of stuff is allegations, you know, and you need to find the hard-nosed truth. I do agree with that. You know, Jennifer says, Pastor Gino, oh, I don't know about that, you know. Tina says, good evening, brother. Good evening. I'm just here for about, I don't know, 30 to 45 minutes. Just decided to jump on the live right quick, you know. Let me go back to some of these comments too, in case I missed something. So Bennett says Martin Luther King was a puppet. They used him and then knocked him off. Hey Bennett, why do you think Martin Luther King was a puppet? You know, what makes you say that about Martin Luther King? You know, because that's almost kind of the same thing that I think Malcolm thought the same thing about Martin Luther King, the way you said it. He was a puppet, he was soft, and things like that. But why do you think that, Bennett? Someone says, hey, brother Tony, just came on. I believe the brothers of the Nation of Islam got jealous and planned and plotted. But which brother, I don't know. Katie Jones says, this sound like what typically goes on in the hood. As soon as you get too close, boom, you're dead. She brought it back to the hood. You know, that could be true. That definitely could be true. You know, okay. Alexandria says they were our heroes. So, Martha Alexandria, you're stating that Malcolm X and Martin Luther King were heroes? Is that what you're stating? At Martha Alexandria. Jennifer says, wasn't Stokely Carmichael a part of the Black Panther Party? Oh, I don't know that. I don't know too much about that. You know, maybe some people in the chat room know more about that. Paul says, in the end, Martin saw things more like Malcolm. Wilcox says, Farrakhan said the nation off Malcolm because he was a traitor. I remember that. Hey, Wilcox, I seen that video. You said read Malcolm X's autobiography. Malcolm X found out Elijah had fathered several children with women in the nation. Wow. Clever Lemon says, thank you, Tony, for your needed information. You're welcome. Someone says, I like Malcolm's personality, but not what it stood for. Jay Grant says they were most definitely heroes. All right. JC1 says back then, it is said that when you was in a nation, you couldn't just leave. You either get beat up or killed if you did. JC1, I heard that too, kind of in the documentary also. That almost sound like a gang right there. You know? That almost sound like a gang. Vision Talking Shoe says, wherever there is cheese, there are rats. Yo, that's funny. That is funny. You know? Vision Talking Shoe says, Nation of Islam were getting money. Yeah, I seen that too in the documentary. You know, they provided Malcolm with a house. They was providing Malcolm with a lot of stuff. You know, they was providing Elisha Muhammad with some stuff too. I believe he had a few houses. Someone says, but I believe Malcolm speaking up was a good thing. Jerry says, yes, they were the founders of the Panthers. King Ryan says, who set up Malcolm X? It was a setup, I believe you meant from Louis Farrakhan. Wow. Emmett Spears says, those independent documentaries was conducted by great black journalists from back in the day that did their research for facts. They stayed on YouTube since 2006 until they deleted it. Alright, cool. King Ryan says, I believe it was a sacrifice. Wow, that's interesting. What makes you think that, you know, Malcolm X's death was a sacrifice? Katie Jones says, what about Angela Davis? I don't even know who that is. Sound familiar? That name sounds familiar. Paul says they kicked Malcolm out of the nation. I heard of that too. Grant says, you said everything that man starts is corrupt. Something always end up going bad at the end. Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Wow. Vision Talking Shoe says in Islam is you leave or you get killed. Wow. See, that's some deep stuff right there. You know, in the documentary, they also mentioned that things like that was happening in the nation. Like, you know, members would get beat, and as you stated, if they wanted to leave, they would off you. And as Katie Jones stated earlier in the comment section, that is almost like the hood. You know, it's almost like the hood. To me, it's almost like, you know, the back in the day, Blood and Crips and gangs like that. You know, when you get beat up to get initiated in, but if you want to leave, you're gonna have to pay a hefty price. Even with she said I'm a historian. Even with a good beating, or you're gonna have to pay for it with your life. You know? So King Ryan says, Just like for Martin Luther King was a sacrifice. Wow. Jennifer says, I don't know if the Nation of Islam was a gang or not, but the bean pie sure was slamming. I don't know about that. I never had no bean pies, and I never will. You know. Bennett says he was awesome, bro. He had good intentions, but he was fishing in a pond that just wasn't his. We probably would have been better without without our own schools, I guess, markets, stores, but they didn't want that. All right, cool. Paul says Malcolm actually found out once he got kicked out, there were white Muslims. That's some deep stuff right there, you know. Summer says, yes, he was kicked out, and the other brothers saw that as betrayal. Cassius Clay, aka Muhammad Ali, even stated he was sorry for distancing himself from Malcolm. I seen that in the documentary. I seen that. You know, Muhammad Ali, you know, distanced himself and, you know, got away from Malcolm, and, you know, Malcolm was a little affected by that. You know, I wouldn't, me personally, Cassius Clay personality, it just don't seem that way. But when you gotta choose between, you know, things you're following over a person, dealing with the nation, you know, and for protection, Muhammad Ali also needed protection. You know, it was said that Malcolm needed protection. That's why he joined. Why Muhammad Ali joined the nation. He needed protection. Okay. Katie Jones says Angela Davis was a part of the Black Panther Party as well. All right. King Ryan says behind the scenes there were Freemasons. I never heard that. You know. Okay. I never heard that. So people pointed out some good information on the live chat. It was greatly appreciated. You know, with some things that I didn't know. You know, Angela Davis and, you know, Nick Carmichael, all these names y'all was bringing up. I'm definitely going to hopefully look for it in a Netflix documentary just to see if they mention it. Katie Jones says money talks. Y'all know the rest. Yeah, money do talk. Money do absolutely talk. And I know what you mean by that. You know, if you put a couple of dollars in front of a person and you say do this and do that, or if you do this and do that for the right amount, you know, that money's talking. You know? So Bennett says, don't know how true, but it's rumors that the Nation of Islam is no different than the rest of the religions. They spawn from the Roman Catholic Church, the Vatican. All right. JC1 says, what gets me is the Nation of Islam says Christianity is a white man religion, but Wallace Farad Muhammad, who started the whole Islamic religion, was half white. His mother was white. I heard that before. I've heard of that before. That he was half white. Tasha says, my soul is not for sale. Addison says Gregory said he was going to go with Malcolm X, but he said he was not going to be baked chicken along with Malcolm. Wow, that's funny. Heavy Lefty says Malcolm was making moves that the government may have viewed as a communist or an enemy of the state. When you get international like he did, it's well beyond the nation. That's some deep stuff right there. You know what I mean? So I'm going to read a couple more comments and then we're going to knock off. I'm going to conclude this. Kitty Jones says, there's videos on YouTube about SNCC, MLK, Malcolm, and Stokely Carmichael, Black Panther Party. I graduated from an HBCU, and we had to learn all this. Wonderful. Jerry says, peace and love to all in the chat. All right, I'm about to conclude this. I thank everybody for coming on the chat, giving out information, some things I didn't even know. You know what I mean? It was great. You know, so that's why I like to have these live conversations, because sometimes I can learn from what people write on here or be encouraged. You know, I'm going to read this one more comment and that's it. J. Rock Robinson said the honorable. Well, he's not honorable to me, but the Elijah Muhammad put a hit on Malcolm's head. Malcolm was simply exposing him. Yeah, yeah. Wow, wow. That's some deep stuff right there, man. So I'm concluding. I gotta go. You know, much prayers, much love, much respect to everybody. Be on the lookout for more Truth of God videos. I appreciate everybody for coming on this live. I don't know when the next time I'm gonna be on here, so just be on the lookout for that. Hope everybody have a wonderful day, a wonderful dinner. It was a great conversation, great topic, whatever. See y'all next time. Peace.